Bitcoin chart, and we are in the 1 week chart. And before I give price predictions to where I see Bitcoin going, I just want to explain one thing. This green line down here is the threshold, and this blue line right here that sits at the bottom, sort of at the trend line where Bitcoin has come down to. So the green line, Bitcoin has never crossed. That's the threshold. And then we got the major support where Bitcoin came down on its bear run there and held. Okay, so it held here on that major support and actually took off there. You can see right there, and you can see where the moving average actually squeezed. They all came together, and then they squeezed out and then broke out, and then Bitcoin broke to the upside. And there was a bit of support there at 43,000, but not much, 45,000, and then broke up to that and then went to its all-time high right there at 73,750. So that was its all-time high. And then Bitcoin has fallen off that ever since, gone sideways. Has sat on this, you can see this trend line, this downward trend line. So it's actually broken below it once and then broken on its parabolic trend line, which I have in the, which is basically the bull run trend line, which ever since it's touched the threshold one time and broken off that. So it would have been a one-time deal to buy Bitcoin right at $15,300, right around that number. Just right below $15,000, you can get it for a very short amount of time. And ever since that, it's broken out. And more than likely won't see a price like that again as this green line keeps moving higher, and so does the major support. So if we were to fall today, if Bitcoin were to fall and not break now above 66,000, let's say that was the top for whatever reason, and it broke below this purple trend line, which is the bull trend, you can see it hit here, hit here, hit here, hit here, and every time it hits, it goes higher. Okay, now let's say it comes back down and then it falls below it, just like it did back in 2022, okay, and then came right back down to its threshold. Right now, that threshold number would be sitting around 23,000, while the major support would be sitting around 31,000. So just keep those two numbers in mind, that those numbers might come into play for Bitcoin, okay? Don't think so, but that's what the history shows, okay, after Bitcoin hits all-time high. Now, what I think is going to happen, since you can see that these purple markers, you got one trend line going up here, hit here already at $49,000. That was a major support and resistance over the bull cycles. Okay, so it's hit it now, and that is where the trend line also hits, and that's kind of a coincidence, because if you look back, and if I take this, and this is how I get $90,000. Okay, that's how I get Bitcoin going to $90,000, because if you take these two all-time highs back in 2021, you got that trend line going upwards, where I see the technical line hitting. And if I take this bullish parabolic line I have here in pink, and I go to the 50 moving average, which I have here on the week, that's where it bounced off of. That's where it is now. You can see 1 and 2, okay? 1 and 2 right there, bouncing off the 50 moving average right there in the purple. That purple line's the 50 moving average. You got one hit, and you got the second one hit here, okay, on the week. And then same thing here. You got one hit and the second one hit. So that tells me there's one more rise up. Here's the rise up right here. There it is. We'll go on the first hit to the top. That's where it hit. That's where it falls. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing now. Okay, so we'll take it to the bottom there, where it hit there 49,000 to the top, hits the trend, it hits the trend line, the technical. Okay, so that's where I see Bitcoin going right now, $89,000, right around 90,000, and we'll assess it then. Okay, we'll assess the market then. We'll see if the market's in extreme greed. We will see what kind of news is out there, and we'll see if it's worth unloading our bags then. But right now, I do see Bitcoin heading up there, and I see a lot of buying opportunity right now. Okay, this is not financial advice. All right, so let's talk about the price now with Bitcoin. Resistance, okay, basically. I wouldn't call it major resistance, but it's hitting resistance, okay, of $66,000. So it needs to break $66,000 to see a gap up right to $70,000 and then $72,500. And then it has to break that golden line right there, the high $73,750. Okay, it's all-time high. So needs to break that in order to get higher in price. And the next number, if it breaks above 73,000, I would imagine would be 75,000, because 75,000 would be right around $100,000 Canadian. And that is a huge psychological number. Okay, so just keep that in mind when we're talking crypto here. There's a lot of psychology with crypto, and numbers do matter, like 100, 75, 50. Okay, those numbers all matter, and there is resistance at $100,000. So if there's $100,000 Canadian Bitcoin, I guarantee you almost 100% there's going to be major resistance there, and you're going to see a breakdown. Or a lot of accumulation at $100,000. So that's the upside for Bitcoin, and of course needs to break above that 66,000. It's showing some pressure there, and then so if it fails to break above that, which I don't think it's going to have a hard time now because it's above that 21 moving average. You'll see there on the 1 day, okay, and of course above the 200 moving average. Now that it's above that, I can see that the price will continue to rise and break above the 66,000. Okay, if it doesn't break for whatever reason and it falls below the 200 moving average again, then we're going to see prices like 62,000, 60,000, 58,000, and then 56,000. And then you got 54,500. And 54,500 currently is huge support right now in this trend we're having since the all-time high. Okay, so 54,000. I don't think the price will see below 54,000 in any immediate short time for a while. If it does break below that, you're looking at 51,000. Okay. And then there's that major support right there at 49,000, which it's already touched and then broken from there. I do believe that's the bottom. All right. So that right now is Bitcoin today.